Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. And this video is going to be about what does the sociopathic female want? So I'm using the term sociopath in this video because this can be a worse trauma than just dealing with a narcissistic female. So a sociopathic female will have what you call antisocial personality disorder, and she will be much more callous. Her attempts will be much more strategic, and she knows that she has a goal in mind, not just for herself, but for you as well. So, a sociopathic female, guys are similar. However, a sociopathic female, because she's female, it's more likely for it to work if you're very unaware. So, a sociopath does not care anything about you. Okay, a sociopath. I'm going to be describing a certain kind. Okay, there's this one sister on YouTube. I can't think of the name of her channel, but she's a full blown sociopath. And I've watched several of her videos. Very beautiful girl. You wouldn't even know that she had antisocial personality disorder. Now, a sociopath in this sense is, of course, not born this way. It's happened because of lack of control environment and childhood. So I'm going to be using Elijah's girlfriend as an example of a sociopath because she may be much more. Okay, she may be much more. What I do is I review my own videos, and I have to ask myself this: what kind of lady, no matter how slow she is or fast she is in the head, what kind of lady would allow or kind of think it's casually cool for her baby to eat feces? Okay. So it's no big deal to a sociopath because she's not eating shit, right? So sociopaths, everything has a means to an end. Okay. So everything has a purpose. People are just used as tools, and that's basically it. So I'm going to give you an example, and I'm also going to be utilizing my gift, reading without the cards. So, because of my gift, I'm able to observe. I don't need no deck of cards to know. Um, I have my gift, and I also, this is my whipped cream, y'all, for my cappuccino. Sorry about that. I have my gift of intuition and being clairvoyant. So I have a extra edge or upper hand on just knowing what people's motives are. Please click a like. So this video, y'all, thanks so much for coming in. This video is about what does a sociopathic female want from your family? So this would be a female that's diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. What does she want from your family? Number one thing she wants, rich or poor, she wants resources. She wants resources. Two, she's looking for naive people that don't notice things. Three, a sociopathic female that has antisocial personality disorder, she will use her body. And it don't mean she got a nice body, y'all. Using her body could be just using what's between her legs. I didn't say she had a nice one. Some sociopathic females have a nice one, some don't. And remember, I usually don't like the term females, but when I'm talking about narcissistic women, I don't really necessarily call them girls and ladies, right? So they're male oriented. No, sociopathic females, um, they don't take enough of their girl or lady identity, in my opinion. And a lot of them, um, they're not independent or trying to do more on their own, rich or poor. So a sociopathic female, number 4, her goal is to get what she wants the easiest way possible. So she wants an easy come up. She's not a psychopath, she's a sociopath. So she ain't gonna go over there to Ohio alone, build a bridge, go sit and read some books, take her a long time, and not need much supply because she's not a narcissistic psychopath. This is a sociopath. So, so I'm going to use Elijah's woman as an example. He met her back in 2024. I was around her 3 times, and I had to think about this in my mind. I said, I think she's my relative's girlfriend, is who she is. She's my relative's girlfriend. Rowan Dake, what are you doing? Doing a video? Rowan Dake, thank you so much for leaving the comment. Yeah, so she's one of my relatives' girlfriends. He met her back in 2024. So she's a sociopath, maybe. I've been calling her like narcissistic and a narcissist, but she down with letting her baby eat feces. She's not even gonna tap him on the leg to stop it. I mean, there's no conscience. The woman don't have a conscience, right? So we got to be careful with calling everybody a narcissist. So Rowan Dake, what do you mean? What brings you to think like that? Think like what? What brings me to think like what? What do you mean? Clarify that so I can answer it. For me to think she's a sociopath? Is that what you're asking? Thank you so much for the likes, y'all. I want to answer the question as best as possible. No, I don't. I think she's beyond crazy. I mean, is she crazy or is she a sociopath? See, sociopathic ladies, what they think. Let me explain this to you. They think we crazy. The sociopathic female, she thinks she's slick. So she think the rest of the world crazy. And this is why. She thinks that people not going to figure her ass out. So now she thinks she's a smart bitch and I'm crazy. But I'm not crazy because I don't go around this chick. So thank you so much. Lover Low, thank you so much for saying cool video. I appreciate that. And then Frank, thank you so much for saying facts. Thanks, Abro. Yeah, so thank you so much for the likes. So this is going to be a very, very good video because on this channel, I help ladies and men. And I think it's very important. Remember, because I have this channel, the Lord, I'm gonna keep having sociopaths and narcissists come my way. I will be under attack. That way we can learn. Why does that matter to me? It matters because you don't want to be conned. And I want to tell you what the sociopathic female wants so you can protect yourself. That's the purpose of the video. And then I could explain to you in a real story time how it goes down. So with my relative's girlfriend, he met her 2024. Okay. And so I went and checked her out. When your relatives, male relatives, start dating females, and the male relative no longer lives in your residence, don't bring their female that they're dating in your house. You must wait to do that. HD Tutor, he has this video. It's called the ICE method. And this method works. It's basically taking your time to get to know people, not bringing people in your residence right away. So basically, in a lot of situations, I'm actually using the ICE method, and I didn't even know that that's what I was doing. I just did it naturally. I had no clue that I was using the ICE method. So, with that being said, now I know the name for it and it does work. I'm going to validate that it works. So, I met her. She's with my relative. Okay. I'm just going to explain the dynamic. She's pretty much a white girl. And so she's with my male relative. And he met her at a shelter. He pretended to be homeless, went to a shelter, and met her at a shelter. So, what that does is that puts him in an environment where there are a lot of sociopaths. It was a youth, not a youth shelter, but a young adult shelter, young teen to adult shelter. So, it's a shelter where males and females can be at that shelter, and they're between the ages of 18 and 24 years old. Okay, so you got to be careful with putting yourself in environments where these people are at and you don't have enough experience. See, the thing is, I know when I go to a shelter, take care of my business, get up out of there, go get me a residence. I know not to bring no motherfucker home that I met at that shelter. I intellectually know that because I know that it's a lot of sociopaths at these shelters. They're at sobriety houses, shelters, they're in assisted living places, they're in apartments, they're in government housing. These sociopathic people are everywhere. However, at a shelter where they're providing free placement or a free residence, and this isn't a shelter where everybody had like their own little room or apartment. Some of these people had to group up and sleep together in one room, almost like kind of like a general housing jail or prison environment where it's just general housing, more like jail. I'll say jail. So, a sociopathic female is very, very charming at first. Oh, but she ain't charming now. She's not charming now. Her name's Kaylin. I've mentioned her in other videos before. There's a lot of Kaylins, so I'm not going to mention her last name. I never do that. But in this case, just going to mention her first name because I mentioned her before. My relative name is Elijah, and he's with Kaylin. So, a sociopathic female should be very slick. So, when I first talked to her over the phone, I did not even get a clue that she could be a narcissist. A sociopathic female can do a better job at pretending they're actually an empath, at least for a while. So, this sociopathic female, she has a deceased mother. Her mother's been deceased since she's been about 11 years old. She doesn't really have any skills. I'm not even sure if she's gotten her high school diploma. So, this sociopathic female, she has decided that her come up will be welfare. And I'm not devaluing welfare per se, because it can be a necessary source to get you to the next level. But in this particular case, Kaylin, she wants to be a housewife because my relative Elijah told her he wants her to be a housewife. But the problem is the sociopathic female, She's constantly doing things and she's using her pussy and she's using drugs and alcohol to lock her supply down. And what this does is this backfires on her because she ends up damaging a potential guy that actually was raised and has more good in him. So a sociopathic female, she will normally attract guys that maybe were raised by their mother. He's a resource. So I met her 3 times. Um, she even lied and said she was black, y'all. She said that she black. I was like, where are you black at? Like it was no hair texture. Um, she did have a big rear end, but a lot of white girls had that. That don't mean they black women, right? So I was at awe when I first met her. I'm like, I couldn't even put her in a biracial category and say she half black. Like, okay, but I'm like, okay, fine. You black. Okay, I'm gonna call you black. But she's a sociopath, so she wanted some black money. And it worked. So she tells me she's black. Hey, you a black sister. I got a little bit more compassion for you. You know, hey, who wouldn't want to help another black woman out, right? So I came off about $400 total between her and Elijah. I realized very quickly that I had been bamboozled and I felt very stupid for my behavior. But hey, you live and you learn. She ended up putting her fist in my side because she was getting violent with Elijah and she attacked him back in September of 2024. So myself and my youngest son went over there to try to help out and call the police, helping with getting law enforcement involved. So I'm just now fully realizing that she's probably not a narcissist. She's probably not a narcissistic female. She actually is a sociopath. But remember, for someone to be declared something, they have to meet a certain criteria and pattern over a period of time. So at this point, I'm familiar with her going on 2 years now. Okay, so this will be about the 2 year mark that I've interacted with her over the phone, but I only seen her in person 3 times. And this is why when your male relatives move outside the house and they start dating, don't just invite them and they woman over. You go to their house and check it out. Get to know the woman outside of your home environment because she may be a sociopath. Ain't it such a blessing that I'm doing this video about her and I didn't bring her in the crib? You know how good that feels? It's very smart, okay, that she didn't end up coming in the residence. Very, very smart, okay? So, you want to just be very careful. So what she did, I went over there, bought her some food. She's a sociopath, so she started making me buy stuff like plates and stuff and attempting that. And I told her when we were in the grocery store, I said you could put those paper plates or bowls or whatever it is back because you could wash your dishes at the house. She wanted me and Elijah carrying her bags. So a sociopath female, she's looking for service. She wants you to be of service to her. She'll be a little different than a narcissistic female because a narcissistic female wouldn't have handed me her bags. So a sociopathic female, especially if she sees your family as nice, and remember, she's going off just what she sees. I don't look threatening to her, right? So there was no regard for the fact I'm older than her, right? Or even if I'm just 5 years older than her, I'm older than her, right? How many people, even a narcissistic female or a whole narcissist female, knows better than to hand her bags off to a lady's son mama. Okay. So there was a lot of red flags. A sociopathic female, she's utilizing her body in a way. She was pregnant, half dressed, um, had on totally inappropriate attire to be a pregnant person. I get that it was hot out and it was some sun out, but there was just no respect or no regard. So I met her 3 times. So 2024, I came there July one time, August one time, September. And I have a pretty busy schedule and things going on in my household. So I'm not the type of person, I don't sit up in people's houses. Actually, for me to go out to her residence where she was staying with my relative once a month, that's visiting you a lot. So if I go to somebody's place once a month, that's a lot for me. And it's consistent. But I was trying. I said, well, okay, let me try. Let me try to get to know her. Okay. Um, let me try to welcome her in the family. So one of the things she did at one of the visits, it probably would have been, I think it was at the first or second visit. Okay. Um, Maybe the first or second visit. I think it was actually the first, to be honest. But I'll say if it wasn't the first, it'll I'll say the second. So one of the things she did, she was indicating to myself and Elijah that she wanted to be on the lease. Elijah was kind of tough at that time. He said, I raised him in a legal world. Elijah is not raised with no smarts when it comes to legalities. I raised him very smart in that area. So Elijah understands contracts. Okay, he was taught that by me. I was a criminal justice college student at one time, and my major was law, introduction to law. So there was things in the legal field that I did teach all my sons. I even taught my sons how to be arrested, y'all. I sure did. You should teach your kids this. It's so many innocent people that end up in prison. You should teach your children about being retained, teach them about not resisting arrest, teach them basic things. I mean, it's nothing wrong with saying, what if your child is out and there's a mistaken identity? Do you want your child freaking out and going all crazy and getting shot down? Okay. You don't want that. So teach your children things that you'll never think they need. Teach them. Say, if you ever in the penitentiary and, another motherfucker talking about, do you want a free noodle? You got to tell your child, no, dog, tell them you don't want the free noodle. I allowed my boys to watch Prison X videos, and it talks about the prison rapes and stuff like that. Show your children this stuff so they'll be less likely to be in those environments. Tell them about the world, okay? Because you just never know, especially with today's times. Right now, we could be going into war times one day. Pick a hiding spot. Your family should know this where we gonna hide if people come from Russia and had a machine guns outside. We gonna hide here. This is gonna be our hiding spot. Teach them that, okay? So, because you just never know what advice they'll need. So, anyway, going back to the story time with the sociopathic female and what she wants. Like I said, I gave a few things on the list, right? Hold on, let me go to my notes. So, she wants resources, number one. She wants naive people. Number three, she wants to use her body and what's between her legs. Number four, she wants an easy come up. Number five, she's strategic and impulsive, but not organized. And this is because she's not a psychopath. So, because she's not organized, because of my gift, I'll be able to read her without the cards. And I'll put this under my playlist using my gift. I've been using my gift more. So I have a very prophetic gift, and I can read situations for myself and others, and I don't need to deal those cards. You know how you got the YouTubers that's they deal in the cards to figure it out. I don't need to do that. I just naturally my intuition, and I'm a praying woman. You know, the Lord allows me to know certain things. So, like I said, 2024, I'm declaring this girl a sociopath. Any woman that I talk to, even when she put her fist in my side and injured me for 2 weeks, she didn't punch me, y'all. She just put her fist in my side because she was trying to take over my son's place. So even when she did that, I still didn't call her a sociopath. But nah, now she only a sociopath would let their baby and know their baby has been poisoned by feces, okay, and not take that baby into the top hospital in the major city and let them put that child on an IV, do testing. The baby needs to be in the poison control department. No different than if the child had drank bleach. And I would request, if that was my child, I would say my child need to be in your poison control section of the hospital. Infectious disease, whatever umbrella it would be under. But when the child, if my child ate shit one time, I would have that child, I would call the ambulance for my child. That's what I would do. But this lady's most likely a sociopath. Even a narcissistic lady has some level of empathy. This child has just gone crazy, y'all. And it makes sense because the baby has bacterias that go through the body. Do you know certain bacterias that go through your body can like Mickey you, y'all? It can make your brain messed up. That's why you got to be careful eating people food. This ain't no shit that's been cooked up in some old cake or pie. That's toxic too, but the baby eating raw feces. My son called me and asked me, Mom, what should I do? So he called and asked me what to do because he know it ain't normal. So I'm going to put this lady in a sociopathic category because it's nobody that she genuinely loved, including her own child. So the thing is with this girl, she doesn't have a lot of gifts. You know, you got the gifted sociopath that will have a lot of skills, but the main gift or go to, it's not a gift. Being a con artist and being a schemer and you being a female, it's actually not a gift. It's a survival tactic and it's a strategy that you're using to survive that will backfire. Now, with my gift, I have a gift and I have great rewards that naturally come in my life. So I kind of like reap what I sow. I reap a lot of blessings without having to do the scheming. The Lord allows me to get paid back for my good deeds, even if it's not from the person I did the good deed for. But I've noticed lately that the Lord is allowing me to reap benefits from people that I've helped. And they're wanting to help me as well. Okay. Because I've taken care of a lot of people, y'all. And after you take care of so many people, some of them say, what you need, ma'am? What can I do for you? Because they are not a sociopath. Okay, but this sociopathic female, like I said, I went over there to Elijah Place. It's his apartment. It was his lease. It's his first apartment. And that first or second visit, I think it probably was the first visit. I'm almost positive it was the first visit, but if not, it was the second visit. I know it wasn't the third visit because the third visit was September of 2024, and that was the domestic violence situation. So it definitely was not that visit. Okay. So she was sitting there like a scam artist and saying that she wanted to be on Elijah's lease. Now, Elijah was working jobs. He was working more than one job when he got that apartment. So the shelter helped refer him to the apartment. Elijah credit qualified, and Elijah was on my lease. So he came into it with rental credit. So they actually called where I live right now to confirm that he had good rental credit. Sure did. So that's actually what happened. Okay. So yeah, so that's how that went. So anyway, she was sitting there. She reminded me of some kind of crook. You know how like some of those scam artists, they meet like people online and try to scam them out of their riches and stuff, and they'll act like they're interested in their banking affairs and their business that they have, and their whole goal is to get their account number so they can take the money out of their account. That was basically how that was rolling with that situation with the lady, right? This sociopathic female. So Elijah and I looked at each other because that was around July or August of 2024. And him and I said, no, you're not going to go on the lease, because I'm egging Elijah on. And Elijah's already on the same page because he's been raised and taught about what a contract is. So he knows that, and he knows I've never put people on my lease other than my kids, right? So hold on one second, y'all. So Daniel and I went over there September 2024, and that was the first day I found out she didn't believe in the Lord, and she made no eye contact with Daniel. Okay, so the one time that I was with the relative and I saw how she treated my relative that met her, she don't care nothing about my family. So the thing is, with the sociopathic female, my relative Elijah and anyone that she meets in my family will only supply to her. She's a cold-hearted, callous, out to get what she wants, low skilled, low IQ female that does not have family support. Her entire family has abandoned her. So she tells me no one in her family talks to her except, I think, a stepfather has been reaching out. But then the other family members say that she's fucking the stepfather. Elijah is not completely sure if the children are his as well. She's admitted that there's other potential fathers for both children, but a sociopathic female, when she comes into the family, it feels like a slave master is entering the family. And she is trying to take control, and her main goal is resources and security. You must understand this. A sociopathic female, she's not in it for no love. She does not have the ability to love anybody. This is the female that when they're having sex, all they moans and groans are fake. This is that female. She's faking orgasm. She's and I don't do that type of stuff, y'all. So I'm telling you the type of female, like the porn star female. The porn star female, the female, a sociopath would be good at that. She has to fake orgasms. She has to fake like she's liking the sex. She'll do whatever she can to fake to get what she wants from any male. So she's very strategic and impulsive, but not organized. So you'll be able to figure her out. So what I do, we don't get along well with Elijah anyway. So after that September 2024, after she took off her mask and showed me that she was a crazy person, running around like a crazy lady, a sociopathic female, number 6, she will utilize drugs and alcohol as a way to get the person to keep allowing her to use them as a resource. So, like, for example, with Elijah, she was purchasing him alcohol from the liquor store because she's a little older than Elijah, and he was not even old enough to drink liquor. So, number 6, a sociopathic female will offer and purchase drugs and alcohol, hardcore drugs. All drugs are really hardcore, y'all. Come on now. I'm not getting ready to say from heroin to marijuana to cigarettes to vape to cocaine to shrooms. Whatever your relative wants, this sociopathic female is going to buy it for them. So I never went back over there. Myself and my relatives that stay here, we don't go around. We just stay out this scene. Currently, they're being evicted. Elijah owes a $15,000 bill. So this is where the sociopathic female, this is getting ready to be very interesting, y'all. You got to stay here for this. I'm getting ready to tell you, what does the sociopathic female want from your family? For one, she wants your family, literally. She wants to, if she can, she wants one of these two things. She wants to remove your family from you so that your family that you worked hard to care for, she doesn't want your family to be a resource for you. Okay, so like I got 2 more sons here in this house, right? The sociopathic female, she wants them. Or if she can't get that, the second thing she wants to manipulate her way in this house so she can take it over and it be all about her. Okay, and this is how she's doing this. Okay, so remember, Elijah is only a supply to her. She figuring out right now, what do I do? Because this man owed $15,000 in rent. So she realizes that my middle son is not a good supply for her. So what she's been asking me, so she kind of, sociopaths, their different personalities are much different because it's more of an acting. Empathic people, we actually have other personalities that's natural. You need them. One of my personalities is I'm a YouTuber. I'm not talking about personality disorder, but a sociopathic female is like an actor, okay? But for me, because I utilize my gift, a sociopathic female, what she wants from my family, because I'm observant and I have clarity and I'm not taking her drugs and alcohol. See, a sociopathic female, she can't give me her drugs and alcohol. I'm not going to take them. I'm not even going to drink liquor with her because I already feel the vibe that it wasn't right. And sociopathic females, they give off a certain energy that over time I'm able to kind of figure out. She had a bad vibe on her when I really look back on how it was when I first met her. So, sociopathic female, she calls me mom. This is what she calls me, okay? It's a manipulation tactic. That's all. She called me that when she got my money from me too, when I was buying her food and stuff like that. Um, it kind of blanked out, y'all. I don't know what happened. So lately, the sociopathic female has been inviting myself and my sons to come around. She wants myself and my other two sons to come around and hang out with her and Elijah. And it's not because she wants us close as a family. This is where the strategic part comes in. So you got to keep this in mind. The sociopathic female, she's destroyed the credit of Elijah. Elijah could have stayed, if he wanted to have his freedom and not be in the house, he could have just been a single man and stayed at that shelter for free, got him a job and just stayed for free or stayed home. So she's already manipulated Elijah. So his credit is being destroyed. $15,000 rent bill. Nobody's going to rent to him. Even a private owner would struggle renting to Elijah. $15,000 bill, way too high. She's already destroyed his criminal record. Now he has domestic violence on him. See, he has to help her do this too. With the sociopathic female, you have to give her access. I did warn Elijah when I went over there September 2024. I got the police involved. He said I was evil. Called me the next day and called me evil because he said I wanted to put a pregnant woman in the streets. But I already knew he was going to go into the criminal justice system messing around with this sociopathic female. I wasn't there to protect her. I was there to protect my son. I'm not there to protect Kaylin. My goal is to protect Daniel, Isaiah, and all my sons, especially the ones that live at home. Okay. So lately, the sociopathic female, she's been trying to make it seem like she want one big happy family. But what that does is say myself and my two sons go over there and hang out. We don't have time. We don't have anything in common with Kaylin and Elijah. But the sociopathic female, she wants, remember, number one on the list is resources. So she sees that that son has failed, Elijah. So she wants my sons. A sociopathic female, she'll attempt to put the pussy on my other sons so she can get in the home and secure her spot in my home. Or her goal will be to remove them from this home so that they can pay for her to live. Okay. So say she was able to be strategic enough to pull my firstborn son in. And he's been working at a major corporation for several years. She pulled him in and she talked him into renting a hotel, and with her and her two babies, and they all stayed in a hotel. The thing is, my other two sons, they got their player game on tight, right? For one, their standard for a woman is higher. So this particular sociopathic female would have a harder time to pull them in because my other two males, Daniel and Isaiah, they're more controlled with themselves. So they girlfriends have to be kind of pretty or got something going on, right? Isaiah, for one, he like really in shape girls, like his girls, and Isaiah, he's a normal body weight, athletic. He has a gym membership, and Isaiah, he likes the women with the bodies. He kind of like Spanish girls. Isaiah like them real beautiful Spanish women. He sure does. Daniel, um, his girlfriend, Lily, that girl was real pretty. She sure was, but Lily had some serious that was not compatible with Daniel's future. But just from a physical standpoint, Lily was really pretty. She was a little Mexican girl, beautiful little girl. This was years ago when Daniel was dating her. So, fortunately, Isaiah and Daniel have a standard. But what you don't want to do, you want to protect your males. So, you don't want to bring your male around what they call it a black widow. Ain't that the evil woman? The black widow? That's the evil lady, I think, right? You don't want to expose your males to this. So, this particular sociopathic female, from my perspective, this is what I'm gonna say she is. She wants my other two sons. She sees that it's failing with Elijah. And yes, a sociopathic female will, especially one now, I'm not saying every girl that slept with somebody's brother, that's been with one guy and slept with a brother. I'm not saying they all sociopaths. It's not true. But normally those are like real young teens. So the girl is real young. So if she been with one brother and broke up and get with the other brother, she's normally in her early teens. That don't make her a sociopath, right? But this sociopathic female, she's a little older now. Okay, so she will, without a doubt, there's no doubt, she'll dump Elijah off. If I let her around my sons, she would strip and dump Elijah off. I could be going to the store one day and she just say, "Well, I'm gonna give you both some pussy." This girl is nasty. She's involved in sexual deviant behaviors. And I will give you an example of sexual deviant behaviors: threesomes. Threesomes where she's freaking it on with another girl, stuff like that. Um, and that was a supply she pulled in. That particular girl she freaked it on with, from the rumor I heard, that girl, black girl, pretty dark skinned black girl, she came with her when she had her first child. See? You see how this goes? So the sociopathic female, she utilizes sex and intercourse and strip teasing, threesomes, dominatrix, um, dominatrix. I met one of those. One of my coworkers, his girl was into dominatrix. I didn't know what the hell that was. I was like, "What's a dominatrix?" She said, "Well, she had clients that was like doctors and lawyers and shit, and she was like, 'Well, they just pay me to beat them and pee on them and shit.'" I was like, "What? This some motherfucking doctors and lawyers that's paying you to whip them and piss on them and shit, and they pay you for this?" I couldn't believe it. So that was the first time I ever even knew what a dominatrix was. And she was saying some of them, they like to have their hands tied and whipped, and she explained to me. She said they're normally white guys. Some were black, but she had a consistent clientele of white guys, and these were white guys that had real careers. And then she would tell me that how much money she made. So like she said one white guy she whipped. She said she made like $1,000. She whipped him and pissed on him for 30 minutes. And I'm not gonna lie, when she told me she got $1,000 for that, I was like, "You got that the same day?" She said, "Yeah, he gave me cash right there." And I'm like, where he at so I could whip him and piss on him. I'm like, where the fuck can I get $1,000? And I'm not even the prostitute type, right? But I was like, nah, I can't whip nobody. I was like, that's just some weird shit. But when she told me, because she had clients that were doctors and lawyers, so $1,000 wasn't nothing to them. And they would be letting her do this regularly. And she would give them commands. She would, give me like she would like act out her job. So she had her whip. And she had this shit at her house too. I went in her house. She wasn't lying. I found out she was a dominatrix through my coworker. Because we all would hang out after work and stuff. I met some interesting people when I worked part-time at the stadium during the games. You meet some real interesting people. I remember she had the dominatrix lady, she had CPS had took her kids. They sure did. They knew about her line of work, and CPS did not think that her whipping white men and pissing on white men and being a dominatrix was good for a child to be in that environment. So her children were temporarily taken, and she was like working to get her kids back. So um and I don't know if that lady was a sociopathic female. I'm not saying she was. Um, I actually, I didn't even think that lady was like a narcissist. I just think she had a narcissistic side to her because she was about her money. But I would joke with her. I was like, damn, you got $1,000. She had the whip and everything over in the corner. I said, damn, you just take the whip a white man, and she was like of Asian descent. She wasn't black. This isn't a black girl that was doing this. So she's like Asian or something like that. I think she was like Asian and white maybe. She was like, yeah, I just whip his ass, piss on him. She was like the one doctor. He loved handcuffs. He loved to be handcuffed and crawling to her and all this type of shit. And yeah, she get $1,000, and some of them they would meet like 30 minutes. And I'm like, you don't have intercourse with them? She said, no, I didn't even have to take off my clothes. I just whip them. And some of them like to be whipped harder than others. And I would joke with her. I said, damn, do you need any help whipping them for $1,000? And I say, you ain't making them bleed. And so I would joke with her, but I just couldn't do that for a living. I mean, I would be too afraid that one of them gonna pop off and be a serial killer. I'm not meeting with no weird white man that like to be whipped. And some of them like to be pinched. And she would tell me how some of them, and these was doctors and lawyers, you know, um, none of them that she served, none of her clientele were police officers. I was really happy to hear that none of them were police officers. I was really happy to hear that. But they were doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. And they were all male. She had a few black ones, but most of them, she said, were white. But she did have some black clients as well. And I suspect one of her black clients was our coworker. I think he was into that shit. That's the black client, was him. So I I'm just now kind of figuring that out, but I think that was one of her black clients. So, because he was very supportive of what she did. So, going back to the sociopathic female, this particular sociopathic female, she wants to pull me in with my other two sons. And this is the reason. See, you got to have your own system in force. For one, we don't have time. See, that lifestyle, one of the things I could say about Kaylin and Elijah, they socialize a lot. Sociopathic females, number 7, they will be quite social and be willing to allow more strange company in their house. So I would say that would be number 7. That would be a sign. The thing is this, number 8 on the list would be this. This is going to be a hard one for y'all. This is going to be a very, very difficult one, right? But this is the truth. A lot of people, this is why they get got. And I'm not saying you this way, but I want you to be more aware and work on this. Everybody that's inviting you out, that want to be around you and your family and friends, or not doing it because they want to genuinely be in your company. They want something. So you got to understand this. Okay. I'm not trying to brag, but I want you to learn and I want your views. If you got questions, ask the question in the chat. I answer questions for free. I'm about one of the only people that don't really want nothing from you that's going to harm you. But see, I'm rare though. Most people not like me. But this is the thing. I'm not running around asking people if I could come around. So see, the genuine people that's not like these sociopathic females, they don't need to be in your company. They not going to ask you too much. They may not even ask you to hang out. So the thing is why people get got and scammed, they experience loneliness and they actually believe what's on the surface. I already know. This is the thing. See, I don't cross a lot of interracial boundaries. Okay, so this is how I roll. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I roll. White people, when I deal with white people, they are God-fearing white people. They at my church. They at our jobs. They're business partners. You understand? When I'm interacting with white people, they do not have the status and nature of Kaylin. See, this is the thing. You got to have a standard. See, I don't go to shelters and pick no white person up from no shelter. I didn't train Elijah that way. So because Elijah is not going by his training, he's brought a sociopathic female in the family that I won't let in my house. So this is how I roll. She's a sociopath, right? And the right people, I've never called CPS in my life, but to clear my conscience, they're going to be taking care of the issue about her child eating feces. But I didn't call CPS to get it done. It's going to be taken care of. The child needs to be in the hospital. What sociopath or not, it ain't that child fault that his mama is a sociopath. You understand me? So I couldn't, stuff like that can affect you where you can't sleep at night. So I can sleep at night knowing that the child will be helped. She's a sociopath. She's not going to put that child in the hospital. CPS is going to have to make her do it. The child just going crazy because he's ate feces. He's been Mickey by his own shit. Basically, it's horrible. So the thing is, this is where like I tell y'all, my grandmother, she was neglectful in some areas. However, I was raised in a good environment, being in a business environment. Being from St. Louis, Missouri, heightens your mind so you understand the criminal mind a little better. And that detective part of your brain, I don't know if it's the Mississippi River being close by and that damn Mississippi River water so freaking dirty. I think that's what it is. I think the Mississippi River dirty ass water helps you understand people's dirty ass minds. I think it really does. Truly. So this sociopathic female, So when she's asking for me and my sons to come around, I read without the cards. My one relative, she see that, oh, he failed $15,000. She knows that these other ones here work and, live pretty productive lives. And so she wants to pull in and take my family from me through one or two ways. She wants, see, a sociopathic female, she has no soul, right? So she don't care if it's best that my sons invest back in their mother because I'm the one that helps them. A sociopathic female will take all my sons and have them paying for her motel stay and let them all move in, buy them all drugs and alcohol, and she'll bring them down eventually the same way she's done Elijah. Elijah only moved in that place to provide housing for her. But see, her not being on the lease now benefits her because that bill not on her. Now, this is what I suspect she was going to do to Elijah. If Elijah would have put her on the lease, okay, so say Elijah would have put her on the lease back in 2024, March 2024. If she would have been put on the lease, I suspected that she was going to take his apartment over and move another man in and have somebody else paying the rent. Somebody can do that to you too. See, if she would have went on the lease and was able to trick us, and she tried to trick us, she was sitting there. We was in Elijah's apartment and she was strategically trying to convince us to put her on the paperwork. Remember, number one on the list is she wants resources. She's a sociopath. I've never been in a situation like that in my whole life where I've met somebody's girlfriend and they're sitting there trying to convince me and my relative to put them on the paperwork. I've never been in that exact situation in the way that happened in my entire life. But I'm learning how sociopathic white women work. See, as you grow, you learn more. So she ain't done. She want resources. See, this is the thing with a sociopathic female like this. She's highly narcissistic as well. That comes with the sociopathy. So she's also a narcissist. So when I first told her, I said, well, you're on welfare. They pay for childcare. Take the babies to the daycare, put them in a daycare, get a job, help pay the rent. A sociopathic female, this one's lazy. She's male-centered, and she believes that males are going to provide for her. And I'm sorry to say this is not to be discriminatory, right? She shouldn't believe that Black males that are very young are going to pull that off. Young Black males, they struggle in the provider area. They're still getting themselves together. And for her to believe that she was going to give Elijah drugs and alcohol and expect him to produce for her and keep a stable place for her being a Black male, she shot herself in the foot when she did that. I said something to her too. We went over this statement. Oh, she, when he kept cussing and name calling, that old statement, I say, you should have been aborted. She said, oh, that's a terrible mother. I said, but you aborting them for real. See, I'm just talking shit, but you give him the drugs and alcohol that will abort him. Just like you aborting your baby that you letting eat shit. Pay attention to that too. See, empaths, we just talking a bunch of bullshit. saying some crazy shit when we being disrespected, right? But we not actually acting it out. But a sociopathic female, that's what she does. She's doing an abortion on your males. That's what she's really doing. And her whole system, a sociopathic female, because she's unorganized, she's not business savvy. And because of her sociopathy, which is a sociopath, someone that has antisocial personality disorder, she thinks she's entitled that other people are supposed to provide for her. And she might think she beautiful, y'all, which is definitely a sociopathic female. This chick might think she's like Beyonce or something. She might think she fine as Diana Ross or Beyonce. She might think her legs look better than Tina Turner's. Sociopathic females, they think very unrealistic thoughts that don't align with their real nature. And she's not trying to be a giver. That's the difference. She's not an empath. So she ain't trying to become a team and you all build up together. She got one of my relatives. You got to stop handing your family over to people and being so motherfucking friendly. Don't allow a sociopathic female to interact. Tell your male relatives what she is. You got to tell your males, your brother, your cousin, your good friend, that's a sociopathic female, stay away from her. Stop allowing your males to meet the wrong people. You got to become more like the Kennedys or some family like these wealthy families, right? They have a, what do you call it? Gatekeeping. You got to learn to gatekeep. People are suffering now, y'all. They want your resources. If you got somebody, if you got 3 uncles or aunties that have jobs and they live with you, your neighbor wants your 3 uncles and aunties to move down the street with them. They want your household money to move where they at. That's what a sociopathic female wants. She wants our revenue. She didn't make it on Elijah's lease. So she want to meet my other 2 sons so she could get up on this lease. So what do sociopathic females want from your family? They want your resources. They want your physical family members in their hands. And if that's at the cost, if I got sick and she had all my sons helping her and I was sleeping on the street, a sociopathic female would tell my children to walk right past me. You here to help me. That's your mother problem. Throw a towel over in the bush. Y'all are mine now. A sociopathic female is a very, very wicked person. She's destroyed Elijah. He got the longest criminal agreement that I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen a agreement or contract that he's went into regarding the domestic violence situation. I've never seen even a murderer have that extended of a watching by the court system. I've never seen anything like that. But September 2024, the Lord told me, myself and Daniel was so kind. Daniel said, Mom, I'll go with you. And I'm so glad that Daniel went with me back in September 2024, because at that time I had not determined that she's a sociopathic female. She might have did more than just set her fist on my side and make me move to the side.
I said the Lord is good.
Daniel said the Lord is good.
Amen. Repent for your sins, YouTubers.
Oh, thank you.
You don't want to go to hell and burn.
Daniel's been getting a lot of views, y'all. I'm gonna put his channel.
Like, share, and subscribe to me.
He just uploaded a video, y'all, on his channel, and he's gotten how many? 5,000 views?
5,000 views.
Yeah, he got 5,000 views.
Something you can't do.
Daniel, he's something else. They gonna do it because I'm gonna be doing the video teaching them how to do it. Shorts, he's good in the algorithm. I'm gonna put Daniel's channel in the description box. And also his channel is in my playlist. It's on my playlist, but I'm gonna add the video in my description box that he just did the 5,000 views on. I'm very proud of Daniel. I'm teaching him the YouTube world. That's why you gotta do positive stuff, y'all, because your children, you want to hope that they copy the positive things that you do. So, I've been uploading here on YouTube for years. And, Daniel is following in my footsteps, and I've always uploaded my family. On here, my channel survives because I knew from day one, I don't just talk about narcissism. I talk about much more. I just uploaded a video I said, look at this, y'all, where I'm talking about the stuff that's being painted in the neighborhood. So I'll add that video to the description box too. So I'll add Daniel's video that he got the 5,000 views on, and the video that I just uploaded saying, look at this, y'all. I'll put all of that right in the description box below. So anyway, the problem with people is this, y'all. With sociopathic females and what they want from your family, the hardest part about being conned or schemed is people don't want to believe that when people asking you something, they want something else. Okay? And this sociopathic female, one of her flaws is she's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So she makes it quite easy for me to read her because that's part of her being unorganized. Thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. That's part of her being unorganized, right? Is her inability to be consistent. So I'll give you an example. 1 minute she's like, hello, mom. Hey, mom, what you doing? And the next minute she's like, yeah, that's why we don't trust your ass. This is how she talked. There's two motherfuckers here, right? So she's not a narcissist. So she's not a narcissist with she's not like a mid-range narcissist. A sociopath is very ignorant and their attitude will come out. But at this point, this is just like the devil coming in the family. She like, he over there getting evicted. He got a $15,000 bill. Can you bring your other sons through? Don't do it. You shouldn't be training your males to meet sociopathic females. You don't want to do that. Because you don't want them with a sociopath. Like I would not want Daniel or Isaiah with a sociopath, right? Because this is the thing. Other sociopaths may linger in her energy. And they could meet some other sociopaths that they don't need to be around. But she thought she had nailed her one. But a sociopathic female, this is the thing with a sociopathic female. They bring the greatest destruction to males because of how they poison males. She poisons Elijah with drugs and alcohol. She poisons her firstborn son that she got other potential fathers for. She poisons that child by letting him eat feces. Notice how every male that comes through her hands or through her environment or through her midst, they somehow being poisoned by feces and shit, and she cool with it. I can't sit in this lady's face and I know that she was buying my son liquor and he was not 21 years of age. I don't even want him drinking liquor at 21. And so she's destroyed one of my sons and she want me to bring the other ones around. Any male I got in my family, whether it be my cousin, she gonna be asking to meet my cousins next. This sociopathic female, what does she want from your family? She wants your family. What you work so hard to build up, whatever money y'all trying to save, whatever cleansiness and clarity, because none of y'all are on drugs and alcohol. Thank you, Daniel. Whatever clarity that's going on, whatever good y'all got going on, whether it be through education, through the community, the sociopathic female, this is what she wants from your family. She wants to be a part of all of that. Huh? No, I screamed, thank you. I said, thank you, Daniel. You got anything else to say to you too?
What's that you got in your hand?
Oh, this is a cappuccino.
You give me a sip.
Yeah.
I want some cappuccino energy.
Daniel wants some cappuccino. Are you gonna not be selfish with your soup next time? Daniel, one of those type of people, y'all.
Thank you.
He got to learn how to share. He wants me to give, but he's working on sharing. But he did good. He shared his soup earlier and it gave me a few noodles. I be testing kids, y'all. You know, with your children, you got to teach them. Don't just cater to your children. Say, can I have some of your noodles, please? And see how selfish they buddy is. But he's coming out of it. He's a teenager, y'all. He was like, I hadn't eaten nothing. I hadn't ate nothing in hours, so it's fine. It's all good. But you show your child to share by sharing with them, and you show them to give by asking them for some of that soup. I need some of them noodles, man. So anyway, Daniel's doing a great job. I'm proud of him with this channel. But yeah, going back to the subject matter, sociopathic females, this is what they want from your family. So what you got to do, this is the thing, y'all. You got two type of sociopathic females that will definitely be red flags. The gold digger. This one YouTuber that I used to watch, this sociopathic female, I forgot her name. She's melanated. Is she like Arab or let me see. She's like from India. I think she's from India. She's cute. She got this dark hair. She does a lot of videos about her being a sociopathic female. So she's kind of like the gold digger type. But then you have the poverty sociopathic female. And both want resources from your family without them helping to build a resource. They're there to take. So like, for example, Kaylin, the sociopathic female, she'll say she'll help with certain things, claiming since Elijah doesn't have a job, she'll help, with certain bills with her welfare check. But the problem with a sociopathic female, this is what I do know. Her intention is not to do what I did and go to work and take care of her children. So she's always going to be someone that's waiting on this fairy tale. This fairy tale that some man or some man's family is going to be taking care of her ass. And will believe this, and she ain't even married into the family. So the problem with helping a sociopathic female is she will not she's going to be a complete burden on the family. And ultimately, because she's not going to contribute much, say this sociopathic female, I've been told her when she had that first boy, I said, you get welfare, they pay for childcare for free just because you get welfare. Why don't you get a job? She could have got a job and paid this rent bill. And that could have been her way of paying Elijah back for the goodness he did for her because he moved her in his place for free. Do not do this with people. Like this place I'm renting right now, I couldn't move in for free. I had to pay a deposit, down payment, first month's rent, last month's rent. They didn't let me move in for free. You can't do that with people. They won't respect you. You're going to bring a whole problem in your home. So let me see. Did I mention number 8? Number 8. Okay. A sociopathic female, she's hoping that you develop a weaker mind so you're more easily bamboozled. Okay. So number 8, if I mentioned number 8, I'm sorry, but I don't know if I did. So number 8, she wants you to be bamboozled and through having a weaker mind. So but a sociopathic female, she's not going to be able to keep that mask on. And see, with me, because I'm resistant, HD Tutor did a video about that. Always resisting, never immune. So he's talking about the emotional thinking and attachment that empathic people have to narcissists. We're always resisting, never immune. So and that's true. I'm always resisting. So I'm always, because remember that kind part of me, I'm always going to have thoughts to help. I know that Elijah and Kaylin got a $15,000 bill and is going homeless. Yes, it crossed my mind to rent my garage to them. But that's an irrational thought. So I have to resist that thought because that thought is going to get everyone here evicted. Not just evicted, jailed, harmed, seriously injured. Bringing a sociopathic female in here with your male relative, a death can come out of it. They ain't did nothing but went and picked up a whole demon. That's it. Sociopathic female is a very, very demonic energy. And ultimately, what happens to the male? Last time I talked to Elijah, he sounds depressed. She didn't help him. He did the best he could. The first 14 months, he worked and paid the rent. But this sociopathic female, she's just a parasite. That's why I didn't approve of the relationship from day one. I wanted my son to get with somebody that's going to contribute so they both can grow together. But the reality is set in, and she sees that there's no way Elijah's going to pay that $15,000 bill. So that's a failed relative that I have from her perspective. So she invited myself and my other 2 sons around her so we can hang out with Elijah. And it's not so she can make the family closer. The family don't need to be closer because if we ain't putting all our resources together to help one another, the family doesn't need to be closer. Because going over there, my rent over $2,000. Going over there don't pay my rent. I'm not I'm going to fight very hard to not have no $15,000 bill. I can't let my bill get that high. So I can't be going over there. So I can't be going over there with no sociopathic female. So hopefully this is a good example. So this is what you want to look for. A sociopathic female, things that we're scared to ask people that you might be a little shy about. Like, I know people love me, but I might be a little shy about asking certain people. Even with my pastor, I might want to take my pastor out and his wife to eat breakfast. I might be scared to ask my pastor and his wife if they want to have breakfast, because of their busy schedules, right? So no matter how long you've known somebody, you might be kind of a little afraid. You're like, dang, how do I do it? Do I send my pastor an email? But luckily, we got the kind of pastor that usually gets to the invite before we do, right? However, one of the things a sociopathic female will do and be very good at is having the ability to invite and appear to be putting you all together. Because that's how she's got to get her resource and money from you, through the invite. So she will come into the family with the facade like she's trying to, can we all be, what's that, Rodney King saying, can we all just get along type thing? That old famous Rodney King quote, can we all just get along? So that's the spirit that the sociopathic female. But you got to ask yourself this. You got to start asking yourself this. When people ask you questions and people are inviting you out and they are coming into the family new, ask yourself what they want. They want something. They in poverty, y'all. They want something. A sociopathic female, she's not an empath. I've never had to go this far to get what I wanted. It just naturally fell in my lap. But this is the part where the sociopathic female, it doesn't just naturally fall in her lap in the way that I may be blessed or you may be blessed. She has to strategically scheme her way. Because she has a disingenuous personality. She's a fraud. She's a fake. She's a manipulator. She's inherently wicked. She's inherently jealous too. She also will, this is what she wants to. My sons that's in the house, we all at a certain level of peace, right? A narcissistic female wants to have everybody fighting too. This is the thing. A sociopathic female. I apologize. She's also a narcissist, but I mean a sociopathic female. This is a sociopath. A sociopathic female, she wants the resource, but at the same time, she also wants you all fighting so she can get supply off of watching your family fight. So she wants this double dynamic. She wants the resources. She wants the people. What did the Godfather say? Like having judges in their pockets. Okay, stuff like that. So she wants the people. She wants the resources. She wants the finances, but she also wants the chaos. This is what she's done to Elijah already. She wanted him on drugs, but at the same time, she wanted him to be able to work and pay the rent. He wasn't able to do both. So she wants the negative supply, the sociopathic female, she wants the negative supply, and she wants the positive supply from a male. And because she wants both, the male is destroyed and she doesn't lock in the resource. So now This sociopathic female goes into her hood rat, nasty part of her mind, and she's like, I'll get her other two sons. They'll take care of me. But nah, we not going around. Stay away from the situation. Teach your males to interact with decent, good girls. This sociopathic female, she's not the traditional church girl. Okay. She's not the traditional wifey wife church girl that's going to go to college and, or go to technical school or finish high school and, get some kind of even a minimum wage job. So this is the thing. Sociopathic females, there will always be a major area that they're lazy into. So I hope this helps. So, in summary, I'm going to kind of end it with this. What all did I say I was going to put in the description box? Daniel's video, right? This is where you got to review your video, y'all. So, the sociopathic female, this is what she wants with your family. So, going forward, when people are asking you for stuff, really, really understand. Most people not going to be like me and don't want nothing from you. See, the thing is, if I wanted anything from you, I can just ask, but I'm going to greatly contribute to you. If I get something from you, there's a payoff you're going to get too. I'm going to be beneficial. You run a business, I'm going to do all your paperwork for you. I'm your free secretary. See, stuff like that. Sociopathic females, there's nothing that they're offering but trouble and trauma. I've watched crime videos where a sociopathic female has came into the family. Sometimes they don't even discover who she is. I watched this one case, right, where this lady, she had a bunch of sons and they were all unalived within the same week. And I say it's a sociopathic female in that. I don't know how it's mixed in, but some cases with males, and they're like pretty good guys, right? It's like, there was no drug dealer history. There was like no bad history. This lady's sons, they was just out to eat at this diner that they had went to sometimes. All of her sons was shot down within the same week. Stuff like that. There's a sociopathic female sometimes that's gotten into the mix. It could be through a phone dispute, lying on one of the sons. You just never know. Some kind of way, somebody got some man that they never found. They never found the killer. Somebody got some man to just unalive all of this lady's sons, just some good sons. Sociopathic female comes into the family. Now, what I do, I give preventative strategies for you to prevent this. When your male relatives move out, and even if they live in at the residence, don't allow everybody they date to come into the residence or you bring them in the residence. You have to vet people and screen them. I knew something was wrong with this sociopathic female when I found out her background. Just knowing that her mother died when she was 11 years old, and finding out she didn't believe in the Lord, September of 2024, that's all I needed to know. And watching how she ran around my son's apartment complex like some kind of raging animal demon. I watched it. It was actually pretty scary. I'm gonna really thank the Lord that Daniel came with me. We was allowing the police to handle it. But who knows how bad that could have came out to be if I wouldn't have brought a witness with me. They were so rude to Daniel and I left us all outside 2 in the morning. The police had to wait on us and protect us and make sure that Daniel and I got in the Uber. So this is what a sociopathic female wants from your family. Number 9, um, a sociopathic female also wants things that you did and you went to an outside agency to get. So say I raised my sons, I worked and I put them in preschool and daycare. And then they would go to after school daycare. I was big on taking my children to school. I would always work a job where I got to drop them off, walk them to class and stuff like that. So, number 9, a sociopathic female, she wants you to do the service that you didn't even do when you were raising your own children. So my children, they went to school and daycare. But a sociopathic female, she thinks that you should be the daycare. She thinks you don't have nothing else to do, y'all. A sociopathic female, she wants you to be her children's daycare. And ultimately, she wants any extra resources, financial resources, spent on her and her children. A sociopathic female, they'll be the type, oh, I'll pay you $300 a month in rent while they eat up $800 worth of your food and not give you their food stamps or not buy any food if they stay with you. Like they won't use their food stamps. If you let a sociopathic female stay with you, they won't use their food stamps to buy their own food, basically, is what I'm saying. And if you let a sociopathic female stay with you, if you're the type of family that gets food stamps or gets assistance, the sociopathic female, what she wants from your family, she wants to eat up all your food, drink your milk up, drink your lemonade up, steal all your turkey sandwiches. Okay? So this is how this is. Let me see. I'm going to add a number 11. Sociopathic females, there will be a dirty element to that will be added to the home. So if there's any struggle in the household, say you behind on laundry, anything that you're behind on, bringing a sociopathic female in the home is just going to add to that problem. Sociopathic females, they're not going to be coming in your house, cleaning the tub out after they bathe. They will continue to get in the tub and shower no matter how dirty it is. That will be number 12. Number 13. I know this particular sociopathic female, I can tell you some of the things that she will be doing because of what Elijah has already went through. There will be heavy police activity. So if you've been in a policing situation and had to call the police a few times on anyone, even if it was your neighbor or any random incident. Number 13, if you bring a sociopathic female in your life, you will have heavy police activity around your residence. Number 14, what does a sociopathic female want from your family? She wants control. So she wants to take over what you have like it's hers. Number 15, a sociopathic female, when she already shows you that she's inconsistent. Like with this girl, she's, hello, mom. Then she's cussing at me in the background. Um, Number 15, if you bring a sociopathic female in your house, you will be in fights, physical fights. Some of these fights you may win, some you may lose. The ones you win, um, you could end up getting yourself in a situation where you're putting yourself at risk of being incarcerated. And guess what? That's right up a sociopathic female's goal, because if she can get in your house, get access to your family, you get into a fight and you go to jail, say they sentence you 6 months because you done beat the holy brakes off the sociopathic female, self-defense. But the sociopathic female has set it up like she's the victim. She's already done this to Elijah. Okay. So you beat the holy brakes off of her. You in jail. Now, she's now the leader of your palace that you built because you in jail, and the police won't even make her leave your place. Have no interaction and no dealings with the sociopathic female. Going forward, when any female or lady is asking you a question about inviting you around and they want to come to your place, they want to be around family members that at this point don't come around. Myself or no one in my household goes around this female. I'm going to add a number 16. Number 16, a sociopathic female, what she wants from your family, she wants to change the way you guys make decisions or the way y'all make decisions. So when she sees that you're kind of stable in the way that you do things, she wants to get you off track. Like right now, we have a system in the way we do things. And one of our systems for myself, Isaiah, and Daniel is not being in somebody else's business over there that got a $15,000 bill. Okay. So a sociopathic female is a little offended that you make decisions and stick to it. She doesn't like that about you, especially decisions that are not actively and at a fast pace bringing her in the family. So that's number 16. Number 17, thank you so much for viewing. This is a great example of a sociopathic female and what she wants from your family. Okay. So is there any questions that y'all may have? Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate the 7 likes. And again, I will be putting Daniel's video in the description box as well. Okay. And so I will be adding this video under using my gift, because remember, I read without the cards. Reading, all you got to do is listen to people. See, this is the thing, y'all. With a sociopathic female, her tactics will be similar. She'll be asking for stuff. She openly just asked when I first met her around July of 2024. She just openly asked if she could get on Elijah's lease. But the answer was no. So the little strategy that's being kind of changed is now she's asking to be around family members. It's not because she love y'all or love me and my family. She does not love us. She's in the family to kill, steal, and destroy, and to get her stanky needs met. A sociopathic female needs that she's getting met will not benefit you, me, my sons, my relatives. It will not benefit you. It causes the family to be in debt, financial ruin. It brings relatives that just have more convictions, probations, paroles, jail sentences, future prison sentences. Your family is at grave risk when a sociopathic female wants something from your family. Here, you want to learn to put yourself in a position to say no to people. And the easiest way to put yourself in a position to say no to people is stop inviting people over. Just because your relative claim they fake married, got a girlfriend, once they move out, especially when they move out, you do not have to meet, go around, interact with, or bring anybody they claim they love or want to be with in your residence. And I never went back. That's another thing. When there's a sociopathic female that wants something from your family, always listen to your energy. I never went back over there. I am just discovering that this is a sociopathic female. Yes, it's okay to call someone a sociopathic female once they down with they 1-year-old eating feces. Yes, it's okay to do that. You don't need to be a psychiatrist. The person ain't slow. They not no special education client. That ain't what it is. They have antisocial personality disorder. So there's no empathy of feeling for their own child that they gave birth to that's eating feces and shit and boo-boo. Don't let her around before she be chopping that shit up and taking the baby shit, putting it in my food and your food. So hopefully this makes sense. Please click a like to that. I think that was a good one, y'all. Please click a like to that. That just came out of nowhere. That I could potentially end up eating some of that baby shit in one of my soups, because that sociopathic female will do that to me. I'll be sick, thinking I'm dying from cancer, won't know what the hell wrong with me. So please like, share, and subscribe. To the person that's here, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? And thank you so much for the questions. I don't get offended by questions. Yeah, questions are good. I like questions, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with asking. Like Roran say, why does it matter to me? He just want to know, that's all. Frank say facts. So Roraine says, what brings you to think like that? Experience, life, studying, my gift, utilizing my gift more. I told y'all I'm going to be utilizing my gift more and sharing it with y'all. So y'all got any questions? I like this chat today. It was real cool. It was real cool. Sure was. So any questions before I leave? Any questions before I leave this live? I forgot what I was supposed to put in the description box. I know I'm going to put Daniel's video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my son Daniel's channel. Daniel, thank you for your input on this video. Daniel's real entertaining, y'all. I got him motivated. Daniel had uploaded a video. He had got like almost 1,000 views. Then he did an upload and he got like 7 views. And these are for short, y'all. And I say, Daniel, you got to upload. You done piss YouTube off. They liked you, but you got to upload again. And he uploaded. a video and has gotten over 5,000 views. Really good. Daniel's stuff is pretty funny and hilarious. And so that'll be in the description box. Please like, share, and subscribe. I see everyone's left the live. People got to go to work. The one person that came back in the live, do you have any questions? I answer questions for free. Do you know anyone that could potentially be a sociopathic female? Have antisocial personality disorder? What's a good example of a sociopathic female? Okay, she would be someone that has antisocial personality disorder. She gets on a dating website. Stay off Tinder, y'all. I was just watching some online dating site. The WhatsApp and Tinder are two where people are getting killed meeting up with strange people. So a girl with antisocial personality disorder or a female with antisocial personality disorder, she would be the type of female that gets on an online dating site and unalives the guy. It's happened. Little cute, little innocent looking white girl, small in body size, met a handsome black man on there and unalived him. Who would think she would kill him, right? She just looks so innocent, you know? So that's an example of a sociopathic female. There's no emotional empathy. She's unable to feel love. She can't feel that. So people are just to be used. I'll post a video in the description box of what it's like walking with one. I watched this one short, this one so-called friend with antisocial personality disorder, that must be what she got, to randomly push her friend into the bus in the street. A man caught it and came back around and called the police because he saw the whole thing. He saw the girl push her friend in the street. That's something that someone with antisocial personality would do as well. So I just explained to you what a sociopathic female, what she wants with your family. I explained it. I'm telling you the truth. Protect yourself through boundaries. Please like, share, and subscribe. Any questions, y'all? Please tune in for more. Okay. Thank you so much for the kind and nice chats. Always feel comfortable asking questions here. I love questions. I love y'all. And hopefully this video helps you live a better and safer life. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Please click a like, please. I'm going to release the video to the public right away. Give me about a good 15 minutes so I can get everything in the description box. And that way y'all can subscribe to my son Daniel's channel. 5,000 views on one short, y'all. I'm so proud of Daniel. So we're a YouTube team here in this family. And again, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Baby, these tears I cry should have been the last. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.